Hello, welcome. My name is Dawn, and we are going to give folks just about another minute or so to join the webinar, and then we'll do some brief introductions. And we are so happy you are here with us today. Thank you for joining our webinar. Well, good morning, my time, Eastern Standard Time, and I know that's not the same for many of you. I am so happy that we were able to put together this joint webinar discussing fall 2026 move-in. My name is Dawn Bond. I am the Director of Operational Services, and my team has the pleasure of moving you or your student in every year. And so I can see there is a hand raised, but there's also a question. We currently do not have the microphones turned on for our participants. We will take questions after two brief presentations. I am going to talk about move-in, and I'm going to turn it over to Summer to introduce herself and what she'll talk about.
Hi, good morning, and thank you. My name is Summer Cable. I'm the International Student and Scholar Success Advisor for the Office of Global Affairs, and I'll talk briefly about the orientation week and orientation day and any information you might need about accessing our pre-departure materials.
Awesome. So I'm going to get us started and talk about move-in and the transition onto campus this fall. I'm going to share screen. Just one moment. So this is a comprehensive presentation that we do with multiple audiences throughout the summer. And so I'm going to skip forward through some of the slides. This is available on our website. And so if you want to go back and go through it on your own, please feel free to do so. I'm going to start with some important dates. Monday, August 3rd, students will find out where they'll be living for the academic year. They'll find out their hall, their building and room and roommate assignments in the housing portal that will be live Monday, August 3rd. A week later, students will interact with what we call a move-in reservation. All students moving in, regardless of how they're moved in and what day they're being moved in, do complete a move-in reservation in the housing portal that will start on Monday, August 10th. Throughout that first day, different building groups will start on the hour. We don't have every single student start at 9 a.m. We have crashed the housing portal doing so, and so we no longer do that. And so the schedule for when each building starts their move-in reservation sign-up time is on our website. And then what I'm going to talk more predominantly about today is Monday, August 31st. That is when our conference groups, so students who are already here for summer, move into their fall assignment, and when many of you or your student will arrive to move in early as an early arrival. So I'm going to scroll forward a little bit. Sorry about the So these three pictures depict the type of move-ins we do here at UMass. During the centralized move-in days, which are September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we have both minute mover teams, those are students who volunteer to come back and help move families in, unloading and helping students. And we have a professional moving company who works in some of our more challenging buildings, the towers in Southwest, Sylvan, Honors College. What I'm going to talk about today is unassisted move-in. This is a family that is a perfect depiction of how unassisted move-in works, and that is how early arrival move-in works. Students or families arrive, and they move themselves in with the following steps. Every student will have a boarding pass. You'll print that before coming. That's part of the check-in process. We have a comprehensive list of things on our website about what to bring, and so I'll have you explore that on your own. but I'll talk about a couple features of that later in my presentation. There are definitely prohibited items, mostly to do with fire hazard or things that are related to safety that are not allowed. Again, I'm kind of scrolling slowly because I don't want to kind of make you nauseous this morning. Okay, here we are with early arrival move-in. The way that early arrival move-in works is that if you are arriving by bus or Uber or Lyft, Summer's team is going to be available at the Brommery Center for the Arts to take you through the last mile of this process, where they will take you to your residential service desk to get checked in and get your room key. Your U card will be available to you if you did not attend an in-person orientation session. Your U card will be available for you at your residential service desk as well. And that's where the first stop will be upon your arrival. We'll get you checked in, and then we will take you with your luggage to the residence hall that you'll be living in, and you'll get unloaded at the main entrance. And so if there is a need to sign out a bin, you certainly are able to sign out a bin at the residential service desk. And if you are coming by car, you will have 20 minutes in the unload zone at the residence hall to unload that car and then move it to a designated parking area. And so that's how early arrival move in happens, and then you'll get unpacked. What I wanted to talk about are a couple quick features about getting unpacked. Then the slides I'm scrolling over right now are about the centralized check-in process that will happen on September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and we can certainly take some questions about that. Once you get here, you will complete a room condition form regarding the room that you've moved into. Please report any needed repairs in a maintenance service request. That's an online service request. I don't expect that you'll have many, but I did want to socialize the idea that we do have maintenance staff on site, and we will be responding quickly to any maintenance issues if there are any in your room. If you do choose to loft or bunk your bed after talking with your roommate about setting up the room differently than it's set up, please pay attention to the sprinkler heads in each room in the ceiling. Sprinkler heads are highly sensitive, and as you're moving furniture around and perhaps bunking a bed, we wouldn't want you to accidentally hit that sprinkler head. That will activate the sprinkler head, and thousands of gallons of water will empty into the room, and we don't want that to happen to you on your first day. So please orient yourself if you are trying to set up your room differently and you're moving furniture around. Please explore your new home. We do have kitchens and hydration stations. There are mailboxes in every building except Honors. Honors are in the main Honors building next to the residential service desk. We do have an emergency maintenance phone number as well. I would like for you to have your student put that in their phone. Emergency maintenance includes anything that's life safety or building safety, running water, flooding, alarm, fire alarm chirping, smoke detector chirping, lock not working, card access not working. So those are some different aspects. And then I talked a little bit about the service desk. There are 8 service desks on campus. Each of those 8 service desks services a group of buildings. After you find out where you'll be living for fall, you'll be able to orient to what service desk will service you or your student. This is where your student will get help opening the mailbox if that's challenging. This is where you will go if you need a backup key because you've misplaced or lost your key, or if you need a temp card. Residence halls are locked 24/7, and so the main door is always locked. And so displacement or loss of the U card will require you to get a temp card if the U card is office is closed. And most importantly, this is where students will go pick up packages. We process over 300,000 packages every year for students. And new this year, we do have lockers on campus available for an option for delivery that are in the residential areas. And then I'm going to close with 2 more items that I think are specific to our international students. We have what is called a luggage program. The luggage program is where you ship ahead items that we hold at our central distribution center and will be delivered to the room and be waiting for you as you arrive. And so that luggage program information will be on our website. And then the other two things that I'd like to speak about are the microfridge rental, which is a company that we have a relationship with, that if you're interested in having a small microwave, freezer, refrigerator unit in your room, you may want to consider renting a microfridge. Those also will be placed in the room ahead of your arrival and be waiting for you. And then we also host every single year after students move in on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. So that would be September 5th, a giant new to you tag sale where items that students donated last May as they were moving out are cleaned up, repurposed, and ready for sale. And international students are given priority at that new to you tag sale. And so I'm going to stop share now and turn it over to Summer.
Great. Thank you so much, Dawn. And I would like to additionally support the idea of going to the new to you tag sale because some of the items they have are absolutely fantastic, and I would like them in my own home. I'm going to start by sharing a list of web links that I'm going to reference throughout my presentation. So you can just copy and paste those into a document to keep an eye on them, and I will share my screen. Okay. So I just want to begin by talking about our process in the Office of Global Affairs. As soon as a student makes their deposit, they are put into two streams. The first is a communication about your actual visa sponsorship, and you will receive an email from your UMass or to your UMass email account with the subject Visa Sponsorship 2026. If you have not looked at that email yet, it is vital that you do so. You know, we inevitably have students who actually miss that email and then they're sort of behind a bit in the process. You're also automatically added into a Salesforce email campaign. And so you get automatic updates from our office regarding orientation, the Canvas pre-arrival web course that you're enrolled in, orientation week, and all of our summer Zoom sessions covering things like health and safety, transportation to campus, acclimating to your new environment, things like that. So one thing I'd really like to emphasize is you should constantly be checking your UMass email account. In the Canvas course that you have been enrolled in, this is all of our pre-departure material. So we have information covering how you plan your move, what you can bring, what you should bring in your luggage versus your carry-on, options for traveling to the US, including transportation to campus, how to set up a bank account, how to set up your social security number. Pretty much everything you can think of, every question you might have is probably in the Canvas course. And of course, if you have something that is really specific to you, always email our office before you turn to Reddit or turn to social media to ask that question. We have three upcoming webinars. Tuesday, July 14th, we'll be hosting Life in Western Massachusetts and go over some of the differences you might expect from coming from a different part of the world. It can be kind of cold here in the winter, and so we talk a little bit about things you can do to prepare yourself for that, really fun activities in the area. We live in an agricultural center, and so there are a lot of really great farms you can visit, apple picking, berry picking, things like that. On Tuesday, July 21st, we'll have Setting Up the Basics, and we'll have the same session again on July 28th. It's the same information, but it's such a popular session. We want to make sure everybody can access it. So we'll talk about how to get your bank account set up, your social security number, talking about taxes and what to think about prior to actual tax season, cell phones, utilities for anybody who might have questions about off-campus living in the future. And then every Tuesday and every Friday, we have our visa sponsorship request workshop. And enrollment management does have drop-in support for international students, but I don't have the details on that yet. We offer, as part of orientation, a shuttle service from Boston Logan Terminal E, that's the international terminal, directly to your destination. In this case, for undergraduate students, it will be for areas on campus. Your families are welcome to ride with you. It is a pretty convenient service, and I have the web link there listed, but also in the chat. It's open to every international student or every new international student and their family. It's $50 with children under 18 riding for free, and we're offering the service from August 23rd to September 4th. But you do need to start looking at the options now because the deadline for booking is July 31st. Early arrival, as Dawn mentioned, is That's the wrong date. I'm sorry. August 31st is early arrival, and there's a $60 early arrival fee. We have sent an email out to all new undergraduate students that indicates that the fee can be waived if you are not arriving on that date, but you need to email orientation@umass.edu to be removed from that list that we maintain. It's an automatic opt-in service, so you do have to tell me, like, actually, I'm not coming on that date. We're offering a few different kinds of opportunities. These are all optional for folks and their families. So we have new student meetups all week from the 31st until Friday, September 4th. We have walking tours of campus, walking tours to downtown Amherst, and a scavenger hunt every night. We have the shuttle service to the dorms from Haggis Mall, and we are offering workshops including health and wellness at UMass, professional and academic success, peer workshops, classroom climate, and a second health and wellness with UHS, the University Health Services, the Center for Counseling and Psychological Health, and a few other academic partners who will be on hand to talk about some of the services that are available to you. Thursday, September 3rd is orientation day, and that is mandatory. That will be in the Fine Arts Center. We'll be having a welcome from Chancellor Javier Reyes at 9:15, and then sessions from Student Legal Services and the UMass Police Department. We'll have our Maintaining Your Visa Status session at 11:15. After the lunch break, we're going to ask you to come back and we'll have classroom climate with the Office of Equity and Inclusion. And I know it's you're going to get here and there's going to be so much going on and they're going to see all of these different things that you can participate in. But this is a really important thing for you to attend because you're going to be setting yourself up for success for the rest of your time at UMass by attending this orientation. And then that is all I have to offer, but I'm happy to start answering questions. Dawn, is there anything else you'd like to add?
The one thing I feel like I forgot to say is that if for any reason you arrive after 11 p.m. on Monday, August 31st, due to travel, you should go directly to your residence hall and your card access will work. Your card will work, or you'll need to enter the building. In the lobby, the RA on call will be available to be called to let you into your room. We know that that will not be very many students at all, but I wanted folks to know that we will not leave you outside overnight if you come after the residential service desks are closed. And so you'll want to go directly to your hall, and the resident assistant on call will give you access to your room, and then you'll check in completely and receive your key the next business day in the morning. And let's take questions. Pat Quinn has a question for us.
So this is actually, I think, a question for Summer. It's in the chat. Just asking if they're wanting to send an email to opt out of the early arrival. They're asking, and I'm just not sure what they mean, but it says like which email ID. I think you'd had the email address posted, but the chat's kind of scrolled.
Sure. So that's going to be the orientation@umass.edu account. And I just popped that back into the chat. You can also find my email address and all of the International Student and Scholar Advisor addresses on our OGA website, which I did link to previously. I can pop all of those back in at the end.
Many of the questions in the chat are specific to folks' travel plans that are not arriving on August 31st. So it's if I come on the 1st, or what if I come on the 30th? Can you talk about the different exceptions and how those would happen?
I could do that. So if you have a unique situation like the ones that Sarah just described, what we would like you to do is work with us directly one-on-one. And so one of my team will put the email for our residential services group into the chat. What we would like for you to do is to email us directly, and we will make arrangements for you to support your travel plans.
Summer, can you talk about your shuttle times? Are they 24 hours a day or are they specific times?
There's specific times. We have a pickup at 12 p.m. and a pickup at 6 p.m. And that seems fairly restrictive, but there are reasons for that. We want you to plan to have about 2 hours to go through customs and border protection and gather your luggage. And so when you land, if your flight is landing at 11:30 a.m., you're not going to make that shuttle at 12 p.m. So you're going to need to wait for the 6 p.m. Campus is about 2 hours from Logan International Airport, and we want to make sure everybody is safe. And since this shuttle is available to not only undergraduate students living on campus, but also graduate students who are moving into apartments in the general Western Massachusetts area, and we're doing flight to door service, somebody who's coming in at 11 p.m. may not be able to access their accommodation. So we err on the side of caution to make sure that everybody is getting in safely to their residence. And so the last shuttle is at 6 p.m. We are fairly flexible. So if you have a group of, say, 6 friends and you're coming in off hours from what is in the shuttle reservation page, then email me directly. I will put my email in the chat and we can work something out. We can send a special shuttle for you, but it really does have to be like pretty tightly organized.
Sarah, I see a couple of questions in the chat that I'll take to try to clarify. And so the move-in reservation will be available to your student in the housing portal beginning Monday, August 10th. At some point during that first day on August 10th, your student's building will start and their student will have access to make the move-in reservation. After you've made the move-in reservation, an email will be sent with a confirmation, and that will it contain the boarding pass, the printed boarding pass that I've spoken about in my short presentation. And so students will find out where they're living a week earlier. They find out on Monday, August 3rd in the housing portal what building, room, and roommate they will be living with for the academic year. And that will is in the housing portal. So someone's asked if you can move in earlier than the 31st. Not necessarily. So the early arrival day is Monday, August 31st. However, we want to be as accommodating as we can and understand that international flights can be restrictive and if it may require you to come in on Sunday, August 30th. And so again, if you have an exception to the moving in on August 31st so that you're here to participate in orientation and get settled and welcomed to the campus community, please email the residential services email address with your reasons for what you are looking to do, and we will work with you one-on-one. We've got a raised hand. Go ahead. I think I have to actually allow you to talk. Go ahead. You're on mute, so you may have changed your mind too. Okay. Other questions?
I see one person's asking if there's a WhatsApp group or forum to connect with other students traveling from India. We had in prior years offered a Discord channel for all incoming students, and due to the administration's restrictions on social media vetting at the border, we have ceased doing that. And so you can connect with other students in the Canvas course. If you log in, there's a forum where you can introduce yourself and connect with folks based on, where you're coming from or your major or your residence assignment. You're very welcome to do that. I would discourage folks from opening up that particular box at the border, though. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. Aditya, go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Can you hear me fine?
Yep, we can.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So my question is actually about since I'm an international and I believe my parents would also be accompanying me on my maiden journey to international country. I understand that there is something called as the Hotel UMass, which is not too far from the campus or is perhaps on the outskirts on the campus? Since I understand this is a facility made because parents can't exactly accompany us into our hostels, could you perhaps shed a little bit more light on that?
I sure can. UMass Hotel is right on our campus. And so a stay at the UMass Hotel would be a perfect arrangement for you. And so I can ask one of my team to find the link for that. I think they are now taking reservations online, and that's not just a call in. And so, yes, please get in touch with the UMass Hotel. It is right on our campus.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? Advik.
Um, Good. Hello. Can you hear my voice clearly? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to know, as I am similarly also might be coming to UMass, the hotel in UMass. Is there by chance are we allowed to go around and look for at the campus and kind of do like a I would say like a tour for ourselves so that we know where our dorm is and not entering it, but looking it and kind of walking around UMass. Would that be allowed with our parents?
Of course, we would love for you to do that. We have a beautiful campus. And so if you arrive a little early, definitely do a self-guided tour and check out our beautiful campus.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Kashvi.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to ask about I have a flight that is one flight available from the airport near me and it lands on 30th August at 2 p.m. So if it is possible, could you provide me with the email ID so that I can contact them to move in early or like anything that is possible?
So I think what I heard
Because I move in a day earlier.
So Kashvi, are you looking to move in on August 30th or August 31st?
I am looking to move on August 30th. Like, I can catch the bus at 6 p.m. I have the early reservation done for 31st. I have been approved. But I was thinking, like, if I can be approved for 30th August, if it is possible.
If you could email the residential services email that's in the chat, we will work with you on making early arrival exceptions.
Okay, ma'am. Could you please provide me with the email ID?
It's in the chat. Sarah Ristalis just put it in the chat. I'm seeing it's about third from the bottom right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Camila.
Good morning. Sorry, I was just wondering, because I need to arrive from the window from the 26th to 30th, so would it mean that I would need to stay at the hotel?
Again, why don't you drop an email to the residential services at umass.edu mailbox, and we will work with you on arrangements. The 26th is going to be too early, but we may be able to work with you on an exception for the 30th. And so please email directly into the residential services email, and we will work with you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to note too that in the Canvas course that you all have access to, there is a list of area hotels and other accommodations. And so if you're not able to get into your residence hall early, there are a lot of other options in the area.
Summer, there's a new question in the chat that could use some clarification. So someone is asking, is everyone automatically counted into the early check-in on August 31st? So
Yes.
can you just kind of go through how to opt out of that again if they are not planning on doing that?
Sure. So we automatically opt everybody in as a default because we would rather have you have to, like say, oh, actually, I didn't arrive, than show up and not have your U card ready. And so in order to opt out of the early arrival, You're going to email orientation@umass.edu. I'm going to put that in the chat again, and just let me know your name, your Spire ID, and that you're not arriving on August 31st, and I will remove you from that early arrival list that goes to residential services.
I'm going to share screen for a moment because we're getting lots of questions about how the room is set up, and I would like to show you a picture. So I think this is a perfect example of a room, and it's a shared space, and the bed here is lofted at what we call captain's height. This is adjustable. The bed can be moved down lower if you want it to be higher than it is right here. And this is about waist height for someone my height, and I'm 5'9". And so this is a little high, a little hop up might be required depending on how tall you are. Every room comes with a bed ends, a mattress, a 3-drawer dresser, a desk, a bookcase, and a place to hang clothing. And that's different depending on the room type. And so this is a standard set in a chair, in a desk chair, of course. And so this is looks a nice snapshot of a standard set of furniture that the room comes with. And then you can see in the corner of this picture, this student has acquired some additional storage. These are the types of things that Summer, when she spoke about New to You, and I talked about the New to You tag sale, that can be purchased at the New to You tag sale. Lots of these types of things are donated at the end of the year because they have been used by students who are graduating, or maybe they don't fit in the car when students are leaving for the summer. And so that's something that you are able to purchase potentially if you go to the New to You tag sale. In this picture also, you can see that there's a small microwave and a coffee pot. Those are items that this student brought with them. And then all the beautiful decorations and the way that this room is set up are brought by the student. Pat Quinn.
So Don, I'm seeing a couple questions about just specific things that might be good to take or bring with you. I know we've got a question about CHC specifically, but I think it'd be good to just talk about some of the other items that people might really want to bring
Okay.
on their way in.
Yes. So we have only 2 of our residential areas here at UMass Amherst have air conditioning. One of them is North Apartments and the other is the Commonwealth Honors College residential community. All other residence halls, which is the majority of our residence halls, are not air conditioned. And it can be warm here in September. And quite honestly, it could be hot here in September. And so you may want to send ahead in our luggage program a small fan, or there will be fans for sale at the New to You tag sale, or that is something also that after you get here, you may need to buy and have in your room. We also would strongly encourage you, if you take important medications, to bring with you a 30-day supply of those medications, and then change your pharmacy to either University Health Services Pharmacy, which is right here on our campus, or there is a CVS pharmacy in downtown Amherst, which is very walkable. Did I hit on all the right notes there, Pat Quinn?
Yeah, I'm also going to put a link in the chat that'll take you. So there's a lot of questions about like room setup and how things look. We have floor plans and we have explanations of rooms on our website that might be useful for people to look out. Just about every room has the same furniture. I think that's one of the questions, like the standard double is 2 beds, bureaus and stuff like that. So I was just going to put this in the chat so people could take a look for themselves as well.
Great.
We have a couple hands raised.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Japneet.
Oh yeah, hi. So I had a question. I didn't like choose a dorm mate in time, so I was wondering, is the selection the selection completely random? Like apart from the questions that was on like the housing.
You will, if you didn't mutually request a roommate and that person requests you back, then you will be placed with a random roommate. You will find out that person's name and contact information on Monday, August 3rd.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And how about Hamza?
Hi, good morning to everyone. So I want to ask that when we come for orientation day in September 1, to which entrance we should come, and do we need any documents? Moreover, it's a strange question, but is it possible to get iron with ourselves for ironing our clothes, or it's not allowed?
Oh, that's a great question.
Irons are allowed, so I'll answer that quick one. And then Summer, you go ahead and take the.
Sure. So you're going to be coming to the Fine Arts Center, which is at Hagus Mall at UMass. And again, that is linked in the Canvas course. It is linked in all of the emails that have gone out to you. There's a map, a Google map that is linked in there. And you're just going to come in the main entrance. You'll be greeted by our student staff, and they'll help you find your seat in the auditorium for the start of the program. You don't need to have any of your documents to check in at that time. You'll receive a new student check-in email through our office within a week. And so you'll be able to do that all online. You don't have to come to our office for that part.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Mhm.
DT, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was not
Oh,
mute.
yeah, go ahead. Yep.
I was wondering what the outlet situation is for double rooms. So how many outlets are there? And is it like recommended for us to get extension cords or anything?
That's a great question. We strongly encourage you to bring a power strip, so not an extension cord. What we would like for you to do is bring a fire safety power strip, or purchase one when you come, so that you can increase the number of outlets. I have found with the number of things that students do need to plug in now, that oftentimes the outlets that were installed in the 1950s is not enough.
Okay, thank you so
That's a
much.
great question. Thank you for asking that for
Thank you.
everyone. Japneet?
Hi. So if my daughter comes for orientation checks in on 31st and her classes are starting on the 8th of September, uh, are there activities to do in that 1 week, or and if their roommate hasn't arrived, they will be pretty much on their own?
There are so many activities that your daughter is going to be exhausted at the end of every day.
Okay.
Not only does our office offer all of the orientation week activities, but new student orientation and family programs. I mean, they are incredible at what they do. And so I think, Dawn, can you confirm, is there going to be the fair this year?
There will be all of the same things that we're used to. There's going to be a giant carnival on Thursday night. There's going to be UFest on Sunday. There's movie night, the first night, September 2nd. So there will be a whole Welcome to the U program set in addition to what the Office of Global Affairs is doing. And so the campus is ready to celebrate the students' arrivals and have lots of activities planned, all different interests taken into account. So there'll be lots to do.
Okay, thank you.
Chen, go ahead.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
So I have two questions. First one is that is any musical instrument like violin available? Is musical instrument like violin possible to be stored in a dormitory?
Yes, if you bring your violin, absolutely, you can store that in your room. Absolutely.
And the next question is that if in the worst case scenario, I found my roommate is someone who's not easy to get along with, is it possible for me to like swap to another room?
So that's a different area, but I can speak to generally how that works. After the first 2 weeks of the semester, after we've accounted for everyone who's arrived, no shows have arrived, the Residential Life Assignment Office does allow for students to request a change of assignment. But my hope is that you won't need it, but there are options for that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Ha, go ahead.
Hi, I have kind of like two questions. The
Sure.
first one is, I think I'm gonna arrive using Uber at around 7 to 8 p.m. So can the Uber take me directly to the building where they can drop me off? Or am I have to like walk in the campus by myself?
I think you should have your Uber drop you off at your residential service desk. Have them wait for you for just a moment. It will not take you but a couple of minutes to check in at your residential service desk and then get back in the Uber and have them take you to your residence hall so you don't have to carry your luggage from the residential service desk to the hall that you are going to be living in. In some cases, it might be the same residence hall, but there's only 8 service desks and there's 52 residence halls. And so depending on where you'll be living, go to your residential service desk first, get your key and possibly your U card, and then go ahead and have the Uber take you with your luggage to your hall.
Oh, got that. And another one, like I have a medical condition that requires medication that need to be stored very carefully. Where can I contact or like can I at least put it somewhere to store those?
So in this situation, I would strongly encourage you to consider renting a micro fridge so that you have that cold, is it cold storage? It needs to be refrigerated.
Yeah, yeah.
I would strongly encourage you to consider renting a micro fridge, and that's something once you find out your roommate's information, you may be able to split the cost of. There are refrigerators in each of the kitchens in residence halls, but I would caution against you keeping an important medication in a community kitchen that any student or person in the residence hall would have access to. There will also be on sale at the new to you tag sale, small cube refrigerators that you could purchase there. Those usually do go pretty quickly. So if that's something you're counting on, I would get there at the very beginning of that tag sale. Or there's also local places, retail outlets in the area where you could buy a small fridge.
Got that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Aditi?
Hi, sorry, this is a little off topic, but you'd previously mentioned that there would be future seminars for international students to kind of for those logistics of moving in, especially for the international students that live in more tropical countries. Like, for example, in Singapore, you're not generally not able to purchase clothing that's really suitable for a Massachusetts winter. So, like, my family and I would prefer to come there and buy it. Would that kind of information be available in the seminars, or is that something that like it's kind of like an external information source that I'd have to go to?
No, absolutely. So we will be having the seminars every Tuesday for the rest of July at 7 a.m. And the links to those seminars are in the Canvas course. They're also in the Marketing Cloud emails that have gone out. And all of the list of information that we're going to give you in those seminars is also in the Canvas course. I'm going to say Canvas about 7,000 times in any given meeting, but really like a lot of that information is in the pre-departure course and it's there so that you're ready, you're prepared, and it has a list of optional things that you can buy. When you arrive, it's actually going to be a really good time to go and buy winter clothing because a lot of the stores will start preparing for fall and winter. We have a list of all of the area stores ranked based off of like brand new things, used things, free things. So I do encourage you to explore the information in the Canvas course.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think we have a few more hands raised. Let me take a look. Ritika.
Dude.
Um, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I was gonna ask about break housing, especially over the smaller breaks. I've enrolled in an RAP, and I'm pretty sure, so I know my hall, and I'm pretty sure that my hall is not one of the ones that break housing is offered. So, especially over smaller breaks like the Thanksgiving break, how would an international student, like, where would we go? Is there any accommodation available?
Yes. Well, I can answer that question. First, I'm going to ask you, where's your RAP located? Where will you be living?
It's in Van Meter Hall.
Okay, you're correct. That is not a hall that stays open for break periods. And so the Residential Life Assignment Office is able to offer a small amount of break housing accommodation, which would require you to move with whatever you need for a short period of time to a different residence hall for what I'm going to assume is the Thanksgiving break, because that is quite short. It's usually just Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then spring break in the spring is a week long. And if you're not choosing to travel within the states and certainly not going home for that period, they also offer it for that period. For winter break, they do offer housing, but that is a 6-week break. And so, there may be different options for you. But Residential Life Assignments Office is the office that manages those temporary accommodations.
Okay. I also wanted to ask for the longer breaks, for example, winter break, where would you store your things? Would you just leave them in your dorm or?
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that for everyone. So students are assigned to their room for the academic year, and during break periods, even that long one, the 6-week break period, you leave in the room what you don't need for the break period. When students leave to go either home or other places, they leave their belongings in the room except what they need. If you're changing your assignment between semesters, however, it's important to note that you do have to completely check out. Because that room will need to be cleaned and prepared for the new incoming student. And so that's the only exception to being able to leave your belongings over winter break.
Okay, thank you.
I've seen a few questions from folks that are deserve answers from both Summer and Dawn, and they have to do with what if we're arriving after either orientation or after September 7th or September 8th when classes have started, how late arrival, things like that.
Sure. So we're working with the Fine Arts Center to have a live stream of the orientation sessions. We don't have the link for that yet. I just want to make sure the technology works before we send out a link. But we will also have the Maintaining Your Visa Status session in the Canvas course after orientation. That is probably the most important thing that you should be attending, is learning how to make sure that you're on top of the immigration policy. If you are coming late to campus, I mean, it's an individual situation. Depending on how late you're going to be. If you're showing up the 9th, then that's probably fine. But you should email our office if you're going to be significantly late or later than September 8th.
And from an assignment perspective, you would need to, from a housing perspective, you would need to let the Residential Life Assignment Office know that you are planning to arrive late so that your assignment is not canceled as a no-show. During the move-in reservation period, there will be move-in reservation options through Monday, Labor Day, which I believe is the 7th, September 7th. But after September 7th, if you're planning to arrive outside of that window, then you would need to have the assignment office code you as a late arrival so that your assignment is not canceled as what we call a no-show. Sudha, you have had your hand raised, and so I want to let you have an opportunity.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the opportunity. We are arriving on the 31st of August. We are coming with my son, 3 of us. We are arriving at Logan in the afternoon, 2:30 p.m. local time. And we've also booked a reservation at the Hotel UMass from the 31st afternoon itself. My questions are, can I book and send the dorm essentials to the Hotel UMass address since I have a reservation? So what are the shuttle services available from the Logan Airport to the UMass Hotel since I have a reservation? And I understand there are no restrictions on the luggage. Thank you.
Summer, you want to go first about transportation?
Sure. So all of our shuttles are linked in the UMass storefront link that I provided. I believe that we would be able to accommodate you on that day. And it would take you right to very close to Hotel UMass, I mean, within 500 feet. And then the driver could assist you getting your luggage into the hotel.
Okay. How about,
Yep. And as far as having things shipped to the hotel, I don't know that answer. And so I'm going to refer you to the hotel staff to see if that's something that they would take custody of for on your behalf. And so please contact the hotel. After the residence halls open, that may be something, unless it's absolutely necessary to have for your student first night, you may have to have them order and ship to their residence hall room. There's also the opportunity to do the luggage program and ship one box ahead and have it waiting for you if those are items that you can ship from home to us. And then we hold them at the distribution center, and then my team puts them in the student's room before they even arrive. So there are some options. And if that didn't totally answer your question, reach out to our residential services email and we'll help you navigate that.
Brilliant. Okay. Also, we don't have a car in the US. Is the hotel UMass to the campus? He has opted for Gorman Hall. Is that walkable? Can we carry up and down the luggage without a car?
So I wouldn't want to carry luggage from the UMass Hotel. The UMass Hotel is on our campus. It is walkable to Gorman. I would say that so you're arriving on the 31st, but are you not planning to check your student in on the 31st?
We haven't decided on that because
Okay.
he opted for second of September.
He wants to move in on the 2nd. Okay, so then I do have an answer for you. So if you're coming a little early and you're going to be staying in the UMass Hotel through the September 2nd date, and your student is going to move in through the centralized move-in process that I haven't talked about here today, then we do operate a shuttle that can pick you all up and the luggage at Flint Circle, which is essentially UMass Hotel, and we will take you through the check-in process. So again, I'm going to encourage you to just work with us directly, and my team can explain that in a little more detail over email.
Brilliant. Sounds
Okay.
good. Another last one is my son's roommate had actually opted out. They both had agreed upon and they did choose each other on the housing option, but he has opted out. So what happens next?
Your son will receive a random roommate. So he'll know who his roommate is for the academic year starting on August 3rd.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. Thanks.
Ritika?
I wanted to ask about packages. If we are gonna pre-order things from like Amazon, I think that can't be delivered directly to the dorms. So would we order them to the lockers, and how far are those lockers from the like the halls and the residential areas?
Right. So there are 6 Amazon locker banks on our campus. There's one in each of the residential areas. So in my opinion, very walkable, depending on where you're assigned. I believe Pat Quinn helped me that the packages can only stay in the lockers for up to 3 days.
That is
And
correct.
okay. And so that's something that you would probably want to wait until arrival and then order and have it delivered to the Amazon locker. There are also some restrictions on what can be delivered to the Amazon lockers, and Pat Quinn's team is working on putting that together on our website, and we should have that finalized and up on the web by next week.
Yeah, I just got our first draft of the regulations and stuff that we're putting up. So yeah, it would be very important that before you send something through Amazon that you double check our page and make sure that it meets the requirements.
Okay. Would you know how far exactly the lockers are in from Van Meter Hall in Central?
The closest one would be in Worcester. I'm sorry, I thought that was I didn't mean to cut you off, Ton.
No, I think it's Dickinson.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Dickinson's
I
right
think
next
it's walk
door. Yeah,
across,
Dickinson is
not
closer,
down.
but Worcester's all the way. Yeah, sorry, my map's a little off, but you are
That's
correct.
okay.
Dawn's right. I'm wrong. That's why she's hosting.
It's Dickinson Hall, which is in Orchard Hill, but given the location of Van Meter, your student would walk across the top of that sort of grassy area and over to Dickinson rather than going all the way down to Worcester and all the way back up to the hill with the package.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I think we have time for maybe one more question, right, Summer?
Yeah, sounds good.
Do we have any final questions? Or Sarah or Pat, are there any themes or things that you feel like we should end on?
There's nothing outstanding. I wanted to remind folks that this is being recorded. It will be on our fall move-in website located in the tab called Communications. And later this afternoon, after we clean it up, it will be available to see again.
I'm just going to pop our orientation email address in. So
Perfect.
if you have any questions, go ahead and email us and we'll get back to you right away. Thank you, everybody. I'm so excited to see everybody at orientation.
And I'll close us out by saying thank you so much for being with us today and asking all the questions you asked. You are truly the reason why we are holding these webinars. And so thank you for asking lots of questions and gathering as much information as you can. Please use the emails that we have talked about repeatedly throughout this session to ask specific questions, or if something comes up that you didn't ask and you realize you wanted to ask, again, drop us an email. We want to help you make this as smooth as possible, and we are very much looking forward to your arrival at the end of the summer. So have a great rest of your summer and see you soon.